take this opportunity to thank you for committing to one of our kingdom groups and being part of this sort of initial conversation about the kingdom of God at work in our lives. It's a conversation that we look forward to having quite a bit more often here at Cross of Christ and with you about where the kingdom is and what our place in the kingdom of God is. So we're grateful for you to commit to one of these groups. Today, I want to talk with you about the kingdom of God. And Jesus asks a question, what is the kingdom of God like? And he goes on to talk about many things about the kingdom of God. But I want to just sort of basically talk about what the kingdom of God is, why Jesus uses the phrase kingdom. It may be very obvious that Jesus uses the phrase kingdom because there is a king. And a kingdom is the rule and reign of that king in his people's lives. So what we want to talk about today is what does that mean and what does that look like in the lives of people, in your life, in my life, in the lives of people that you know. When Jesus began to talk and live the kingdom of God in the Gospels, he started to do some amazing things. He started to get into the lives of people who were hurting and broken, people who were lost and confused, people who had real burdens in their lives. One of the ways that I like to talk about the kingdom of God is it's where God meets people. Anywhere God meets people is where the kingdom of God is. You see, God has one overarching goal for his kingdom. And that is, as he interacts with people, he wants to bring us and all people home to live with him in his kingdom. So Jesus breaks into our world, bringing with him the kingdom of God. And as you read the Gospels, you begin to understand that he is untwisting what has been twisted. Much of our lives are twisted up in broken relationships or in health problems or in fears and doubts. The things that weigh us down and burden us are the twisted part of life. And Jesus, as he heals people, as he prays with people, as he teaches people, as he listens to people, he begins to untwist what is twisted in life. Jesus says a powerful thing that has become more and more meaningful to me as I get a glimpse of the kingdom of God. In the Gospel of John chapter 5, he's been accused, and rightly so, of healing somebody on the Sabbath day, a time when God was not supposed to work and no one was supposed to work. But Jesus says in verse 17 of John 5, "My Father is always at work, and I am working too." That's foundational to understanding the kingdom of God. You see, the kingdom of God is at work in your life and in my life every day. And as we begin this conversation about the kingdom, what we're really trying to do is to say, how do we become more aware of what the kingdom is doing around us, what God is doing around us? How do I begin to understand that the kingdom of God is at work in my neighborhood, where I work, in my family, on my street? God is already there, and God is already working. Today, as you do some discussing after this video, you're going to have conversations about where you spend your time and how God is working in your life or what people like to talk about. One of the things that we hope comes out of this very first week is that we begin to understand that the kingdom of God is at work and swirling all around us. But honestly, for most of my life, I confined the kingdom of God to a certain place and a certain time and a certain way that God would work. But I am becoming more aware that God puts people in my path, that I have opportunities where the kingdom is already at work, and God is inviting me to join him in his kingdom. The big idea or the big thought for this week is this: that God is already at work everywhere where people are. God is at work because his goal for the kingdom is to bring people to him. So everywhere where you are, everywhere where I am, the kingdom of God is already there, and the kingdom of God is already at work.